Alright, reading, writing, or kinesthetic. Ayan, maaari nyo bang i-comment sa ating chatbox kung saan kayo natututo? Kung saan pamamaraan kayo natututo madalas? Ayan, sabi ni Ana is visual siya. Ayan. Visual, Ethan. Ayan, auditory kay Marco. Idol ko yan eh. Ayan, si Noreen, si Lina. Ayan. Reading and writing silang dalawa. Visual, ayan. Magagaling housemates. Mukhang masayang magiging talakayan ngayong araw dahil napaka-active din yung housemates. Sana hindi lang kayo mabasya labas ng bahay ni Kuya. Ayan. Ayan. At dahil dyan, base sa aking napansin, karamihan sa inyo ay natututo gamit ang visual na pamamaraan na kung saan is mas natututo kayo pag nakikita ninyo ito. Nakikita nyo may simbolismo, may larawan. Marahil parehas kayo ni Kuya. Ayan. So, ayan. Para sa pagpapatuloy ng ating gawain, narito ang ating host. Hindi muna siya si Gabby Garcia. Hindi siya si Gabby Garcia, guys. Narito si Sarah Ramos upang panimulan ang talakayan na ito. Maraming salamat, housemates.
Good day, housemates! Maganda ba ang araw nyo ngayon? Maganda ba? Yan, puro hearts, puro claps. Of course, magandang araw kasi maganda din ang host, di ba? Ako ay si Sarah Luis Ann M. Ramos, ang iyong opener for Big Brother. So our discussion for today is all about learning styles. But before that, we need to define learning, di ba? So what is the definition of learning nga? According to Nod Elleris, it is defined as any process in living organisms that leads to a permanent change in capacity. It is not solely due to biological maturation or aging. So, next slide please. As you can see in this framework formed by Elleris, learning is a structure, and that takes place first in learning, the center, the basis, the top, the conditions, left and right, and lastly, the application of it. Next slide, please. So first, we have the learning, the center. This is the learning itself, the core process. Learning happens when a person engages mentally, emotionally, and socially. This includes the processes and dimensions of learning, the different learning styles and types, such as visual, uh, kinesthetic, auditory. The next is the possible barriers that makes learning difficult, such as defense mechanisms, mental resistance, all of which are central elements of understanding of learning. This explains why learners do not learn the same way. Then the next is the basis, which is the top, if you remember. These are areas of knowledge and understanding which underlie the development of a comprehensive and coherent theories construction of learning theories. This refers to the foundations of learning, right? Because these are the ideas and theories that explains how learning works. This includes the psychology, education, social and cultural understanding, or social sciences. These are foundations that help teachers design an effective learning method. Now we have the conditions. We have internal and external. Not only not only are they influences, but they also directly involved in learning, such as the dispositions in life age, the dispositions, the life age, and subject situation. And for external, we have the learning space and what learning environment you have. Are you in your home? Are you at school? That is the learning space, society, objective situation, and lastly, we will have the application, which is the bottom. The application is the application of learning itself. So, in, in application, learning becomes a meaningful when it is applied in real life, such as using knowledge in school, applying skills in daily life, and solving real world problems. True learning is shown through use and not just memorization. Now, please pay attention as we will be observing how learning styles are applied in real life. Thank you.
Sa panibagong araw sa bahay ni Kuya. Isang task ang susubok hindi lang sa galaw ng mga housemate, kundi sa paraan ng kanilang pagkatuto. Isang espesyal na house guest ang papasok sa bahay ni Kuya. Ngayong gabi ang pagharap ng mga housemate sa kanilang mapait na kapalaran. Sa panibagong araw sa bahay ni Kuya.
I'm so hyped talaga sa task mamaya. You know, feel ko para sa akin na to eh. So, galaw-galaw lang.
Confident naman ako ngayon. Sana lang dito ang sumakat yung progress. Diba, ito na yung learning styles kineme? Hindi ko lang sure.
Ano naman po? Ano naman kayo papagawa ni Kuya, no?
Nakabalo ako. Kasi feel ko ang hirap na naman.
Totoo. Tapos di ba kasi nakakamubo sa mga pinapagawa niya, tapos ngayon, nagagawa na naman.
Ako naman po kuya, mas gusto ko po yung may guide po muna kasi madali po akong ma-overwhelm pag wala.
Ako po kuya, strategy ko po. Gusto ko po yung gumagalaw po talaga agad. Doon po kasi agad ako natututo pag gumagalaw po agad ako. Siguro ayun yung pinaka-the best na technique ko po.
Kasi kuya, personally ako, gusto ko malinaw muna bago ko gawin yung isang bagay. Kaya sa bawat challenges, gusto ko magpaturo sa ibang housemates. Ano po, kuya? Try and error lang. Bolo na po. Alam natin na ang mga housemate ay mayroong iba't ibang uri ng pagkatuto. Ngayon alamin natin kung paano ang mga ito.
Maaari na kayong lumabas sa garden area. Housemates, iba-iba ang paraan ng inyong pagkatuto. Ngayon, susubukan natin ito sa isang challenge.
Sobrang excited na
Mga housemates, please welcome isang miyembro ng Destiny.
Hi, housemate! So, ang challenge nyo ay matutunan yung dance nila, Destiny Dave, at i-perform to mamaya. Are you guys up for it? Yes! Good luck!
Tumitibok-tibok, pag-ikinap sa tabi. Para kang kuryenteng dumadaloy sa aking labi. Tumitibok-tibok, ikaw lang ang dahilan. Di maipaliwanag, parang kidlat sa ulan. Walang sarilis, walang
Mayroon lamang kayong 15 minutes. Walang isang tamang paraan ng pagkatuto. Good luck, housemates. Pero paano kung hindi agad nila makuha ang sayaw? At sapat ba ang 15 minutes?
1, 2, isa pa. 1, 2. Yan. Okay.
Yes. Ano ba yan? Pantay ka nyo, ate? Ano ba yung formula? Sandali lang.
Yan, ito. Ay, kakabulan. Okay. Isa-isa lang.
Ano next? Kailangan ko naman. Parang kasi ako na kasi dati, so parang matatandaan ko siya. 1, 2, 4. Kaya 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Turo.
Time's up! Time for the dance battle!
Oh my God! Kaya na rin. Kaya.
tumitibok-tibok, pag-ikinap sa tabi. Para kang kuryenteng dumadaloy sa aking labi. Tumitibok-tibok, ikaw lang ang dahilan. Di maipaliwanag, parang kidlat sa ulan. Walang sarilis, walang Tumitibok-tibok, pag-ikinap sa tabi. Para kang kuryenteng dumadaloy sa aking labi.
Hello Philippines and hello world! At nagbabalik po tayo sa labas ng bahay ni Kuya at para sa pagpapaliwanag ng mga hinaharap ng ating mga housemates sa loob, tawagin natin ang Loud Librarian ng Maynila, Angelique!
Ayan. Okay. As always, ang daming ganap sa bahay ni Kuya. Sa bawat challenge niya, ang daming kailangan isipin. Dapat mabilis ka gumalaw, magdesisyon at syempre mangunawa ng mga instructions. Pero ano nga ba ang tamang pag-uunawa? Ang sagot dyan ay wala. We all learn differently because we are different people. And when it comes to learning, nobody ever stops being a student because we are always learning something. Ngayon, have you ever thought about how you, our viewers, learn as a student? Honestly, ako rin. So, let me introduce you to the Learning Style Inventory by David Kolb. Next. The Learning Style Inventory, or LSI, is a practical self-assessment instrument that can help us determine our unique learning style. So, ipapakita nito kung paano ka natututo at kung ano ang sinasabi nito sa iyo bilang isang mag-aaral. So, maaari nating malaman kung paano ba nag-iisip ang ating housemates at anong klase mag-aaral sila. Maaring si housemate Martin ay ang sinasabing convergent type na hindi mahilig sa group works, o si housemate Zaf ay assimilative na ayaw sa practical activities. Next. Okay, so history muna. Saan ba nanggaling ang LSI? The LSI was derived from the experiential learning cycle, which was also made by David Kolb. The experiential learning cycle is two things. One, it views learning as an ongoing problem-solving process that repeats through 4 stages. And 2, it explains how people gain knowledge from experience. So sinasabi nito na lagi tayong may natututuhan at ang prosesong ito ay umiikot sa 4 na stages. Next. So ito yung experiential learning cycle by David Kolb up close. Next. So, concrete experiences are followed by reflective observations that lead to the formulation of abstract conceptualization that leads to active experimentation to test the hypotheses that have been developed. So, let's take note that this process must be done in sequence, pero maaari magsimula ang tao sa kahit anong stage. Okay, ano mo naman sinasabi, Host Angge? Okay, over naman sa info. Sige. Isa-isahin natin. Next slide, please. Ang first stage is concrete experience, which focuses on being involved in experiences and emphasizes feeling more than thinking. This says you must do it yourself to learn. So, hindi ka daw matututo kung hindi mo ito gagawin ng sarili mo. Kanina, nung binigyan tayo ng small peek sa loob ng bahay ni Kuya, nakita natin yung housemates nagka-practice ng isang sayaw. Tapos, parang iba-iba yung ginagawa nila, hindi ba? Let's take housemate Martin as an example for this stage. Napansin niyo ba kanina na agad-agad siyang sumayaw? So like, nagkamali siya. But at the same time, he learned from his mistakes and tried again. Example yun ng concrete experience. Learning and living in the moment. Next. Okay, so the second stage is reflective observation. This talks about stepping back to reflect, describe, and review ideas and situations. So, ano ba ang nangyayari sa paligid mo? Kasi may mga times talaga na sobrang info overload ka na sa lesson and you just really need to sink it all in, di ba? So, for this stage, let's remember housemate Joy. Earlier, hindi niya agad ginawa yung dance steps. Instead, she observed the other housemates and reflected before actually trying. So, reflecting and learning. Host Ash, may mga questions ba tayo galing sa mga viewers natin before I continue? Kasi baka masyado akong mabilis magsalita.
Hi teachers, meron pa kayong questions?
Okay, parang okay. Thank you. So wala naman. So next slide please. So the third stage is abstract conceptualization. So which is where you make sense of all you've learned and where you form theories, find patterns, and make generalizations based on prior experiences. Also, this is where you will fit all your newly acquired lessons sa lahat ng mga alam mo na, aka your existing knowledge. So basically, you're not just reorganizing your thoughts anymore katulad ng ginagawa mo sa reflective observation. Nire-relate mo na yung lessons and realizations to your stock knowledge. So nare-realize mo na dito na, may connection pala itong dalawang subjects na to, or kaya pala ganito ang nangyayaring bagay dahil sa dalawang ito. Para dito, let's take housemate Salina as an example. May prior knowledge na siya about sa sayaw. Nakita niyo na sa iba at may mental image na siya kung anong body part yung dapat galawin at hindi. So by counting 1, 2, 3, she's breaking down the steps and beginning to understand the logic behind how each step connects to the next. So next slide, please. Then, finally, active experimentation. This stage happens when you begin considering how you will apply what you have learned into practice. Yung stage na ito, in-emphasize yung practical application and similar siya sa first stage natin na concrete experience. Next. Ang nag-iiba lang sa dalawa ay ang concrete experience, focused siya on encountering new hands-on activities and making new experiences. Habang ang active experimentation ay pag-a-apply na ng ideas at ang pag-test ng theories to solve problems and to provide answers. Bale, mas logically driven yung active experimentation habang more personal naman yung concrete experience. Yung example natin dito ay yung mga tao na malalim na talaga yung pagkakaalam sa lessons and in this case, nagsisimula ng mag-experiment sa mga dance moves. Hindi na nila nililimit yung sarili nila sa mga assigned steps, kundi tinitingnan na nila kung ano ba ang mas magpapaganda pa sa sayaw. So, yun yung active experimentation. Yun lamang para sa 4 stages ng experiential learning cycle ni David Kolb. Next. Pero viewers, remember na hindi pa ito yung learning style inventory, okay? Pero maaari nating sabihin na yung experiential learning cycle, siya yung earliest version ng LSI. So, are there any questions before I proceed? Okay. Next na po. Ngayon, Ngayon, to check kung nakikinig talaga yung viewers natin, maaari ba naming malaman kung anong stage pa kayo sa experiential learning stage ay may dalas na parang andun talaga lagi? Or, yun. So, kindly raise your hand na lang po to answer and I will call on you. Maybe like 2 people lang? Okay. Kasi di ba we had 4 stages. Sino gusto mag-recite? Or sino gusto mag-answer? Okay. So, si John Ray muna.
For me po, ang pinaka na-utilize ko is reflective observation kasi ayun nga, parang mahirap kasi mag-aral ng parang information overload na yung utak mo. So I think what we all need is to step back kapag hindi natin kaya. And ayun nga, reflect and describe and review ideas in a manner na organized siya and hindi siya nagtatanggal sa utak mo. Ayun lang.
Okay, thank you so much, viewer. Okay, next naman and last si Teach Salvacion. Thank you po.
Hello po, rinig naman po ako.
Yes.
Ayan, same po with Teacher January, which is reflective observation. But on my end naman po kasi, whenever there are things na I think easy siya pero hindi ko pa siya nagagawa before, I step back muna and I observe people or yung mga classmates ko na mas alam nila yung ginagawa nila in order for me to do a better job at doing that certain thing. Ayun po, thank you.
Yan, thank you very much po to everyone who participated. Lahat kami, including our housemates and of course si Kuya, ay sayang-saya na nakinig talaga kayo. Host Ash, thank you po.
So, nagbabalik po ang iyong pambutihin host na si Ash. At sa pagbabalik po natin dito sa labas ng bahay ni Kuya ay gagabayan ko po kayo sa 4 learning styles at pagtuklas ng learning style inventory. So bago tayo mag-start, kailangan muna natin ng energizer. So, pinamagatan nito, paano ka natututo? Okay. So number 1. So, may sabihin akong reaction, tapos mag-react kayo doon and nakaka-relate kayo sa statement na sasabihin ko. So, mas gusto ko nanonood muna at mag-isip bago gumawa. So, hard react if nakaka-relate kayo doon. Okay. So, next naman is mas naiintindihan tong lesson kapag tinuro ng maayos yung theory tapos malinaw yung explanation. Like React naman for that. Okay, so next. Mas natututo ako kapag sinusubukan to agad. So palakpak at nakaka-hit kayo doon. Tapos, next is, gusto ko may clear answer agad and solution. Kaka-react. Yung nakaka-hit kayo doon somehow. Okay. So, as you can see, iba-iba yung sagot nyo. And yan yung dahilan kung bakit meron tayong iba't ibang learning styles. Ngayon naman is, alamin natin kung ano yung apat na learning styles na yun. So, next slide. So, first off, we have divergent learners. So, divergent learners are natural observers and reflective thinkers. So, mas gusto muna nila panoorin, pagmasdan, yung iba, and mas gusto na lang iniintindi muna yung isang bagay bago sila tumilos. Kaya, mas nakikita nila yung mga bagay-bagay sa maraming angulo. So, mahilig sila mag-brainstorm, mahilig sila makinig sa ideas ng iba, and mag-analyze ng mga possible na mangyari. So, kadalasan, mas comfortable sila sa group activities or basta sa pakikisalamuha sa iba in general. Hindi lang sila basta nakikinig. Hinahanap nila yung perspective ng iba at sinasiguro nila na naiintindihan nila ng maigi yung isang sitwasyon bago sila gumawa ng desisyon. So, halimbawa, sa isang group project, si divergent learner usually na nagsasabing, pwede ba pakinggan mo na natin lahat ng ideas bago tayo mag-decide. So, ayan. Bukod doon, mahilig din sila mag-reflect pagkatapos ng activity. So, tanong na, ano ba yung natutunan ko dito and paano ko to pwedeng magamit sa susunod? So, kung sino yung nag-react kanina sa gusto mo na lang muna nilang manood at mag-isip bago gumawa. So, kung yun yung sagot nyo, possible na may divergent tendencies kayo. So, next on, we have assimilative. So, yung mga assimilative, next slide. So, yung mga assimilative learners, they are thinkers and concept-driven. So, ibig sabihin, gusto nilang naiintindihan mo na nila yung theories, yung model, and yung mga logical explanations nito bago sila sumubok sa isang bagay. So, malakas sila sa abstract thinking. Kaya mahilig sila mag-analyze and synthesize ng information mula sa iba-ibang sources. So, mas nakatuon sila sa pag-intindi ng ideas kaysa sa pag-isalwa sila. Hindi sila masyadong mahilig sa social interaction or hindi sila masyadong nakapagpos doon. So, kaya nila ayusin or planuhin yung mga bagay-bagay ng mag-isa at saka ng maayos. So, halimbawa, sa classroom, gusto nila ipaliwanag muna yung isang concept bago nila siya gawin. So, may mahusay sila sa planning, pag-analyze, at saka pag-organize ng ideas. So, halimbawa, kung may research project, maaga silang mag-research, maaga silang gumagawa ng outline, at saka make sure nila na complete na lahat ng references nila bago sila magsimula sa pagsusulat. So, ayan, minsan nagkakapan sila sa mabilisang action, yung mismong filter. Kasi gusto nila maayos at malinaw yung process na gagawin nila bago sila kumilos. So, kung sino yung nag-react kanina na mas gusto nilang naiintindihan ko na yung lessons, yung theory, explanation, kung possible na may assimilative tendencies kayo. So, next on, we have, next slide po, convergent learners. So, yung convergent learners natin, they are problem solvers and practical thinkers. So, ibig sabihin, gusto nilang makahanap ng solusyon sa specific na problema at gusto nila may resulta agad. So, gusto nila nasa-solve agad yung problem. So, pinagsasama nila yung abstract thinking and action para ma-apply nila agad yung ideas and ma-solve nila agad yung problem. So, di rin sila fan ng mahahatang group discussions. So, sa group work, sila yung nagsasabi na ito yung natutunan natin dito, i-apply natin, tapos tapusin natin agad. So, yung convergent learners, mahusay sila sa technical tasks, sa lab exercises, sa projects, ganun. Mabilis din sila usually mag-decide sa practical situation. So, kung sino yung answer kanina ng clear answer ka. So, possible na may convergent tendencies kayo. No? So, next on, we have, next slide po, accommodative learners. So, accommodative learners, they are the doers. Sila yung action-oriented. So, ibig sabihin, mas gusto nila matuto habang ginagawa nila yung isang bagay kaysa pure theory lang, kaysa pure plano lang. So, malakas yung learning by doing nila. So, handa sila sumubok agad, mag-risk, and mabilis sila mag-adapt sa mga pabago-bagong sitwasyon. So, mas gusto nila yung hands-on activities kaysa mahabang pagpaplano, matagal ng brainstorming. Hindi rin sila natatakot na magkamali kapag may ginagawa sila kasi they believe na doon sila nag-learn. So, halimbawa sa project, sila yung nagyaya na, okay, gawin na natin agad. Kasi habang ginagawa, ang reason nila doon is habang ginagawa, intindihan naman na nila kung paano siya gagawin. So, yung accommodative learners, ayan, sa mabilisang decision making and situations na may unexpected challenges, madalas sila yung energetic sa grupo. So, sino yung nag-react kanina sa statement na gusto nila sumubok agad kasi lang sila natututo? So, ayan, if yun yung nag-react kayo doon, well, possible na may kayo accommodative tendencies. Next slide. So, bali, ito yung learning style inventory na na-discuss kanina. So, ayan, hindi ko siya sasagutan dito in purpose. Nasagutan ko na siya kanina. So, next slide. So, ayan, may 10 items per column dyan. And as you can see, and then kailangan niya siya sagutan 1 to 4. And yung horizontally, hindi pa ba? Kasi ang tinay kayo sagutan, medyo na ito. Pababa ko na sagutan. So, so 4, yung ilalagay nyo, if yun yung pinaka-nagdadescribe sa inyo, and then 1, kung yun yung hindi masyadong, yun yung pinaka-hindi nagdadescribe sa inyo. So, bali 4, pinaka-nagdadescribe sa inyo, sumunod 3, 2, tapos 1, yung pinaka-hindi nagdadescribe sa inyo. So, ito yung sagot ko dyan. So, pinakamataas yung aking reflective observation, which is, kung hindi ako nagkakamali, yun yung sagot ni Isabel and ni John Lee kanina sa kung ano yung tingin nila sa kanya. So, mahilig akong mag-stop muna and mag-reflect kasi mabilis ako ma-overwhelm. So, ayan. So, pag sinagutan natin yan, doon natin masalalaman kung ating learning mode ba natin yung mas dominant. So, mahalaga na masagutan natin to. So, later on, magsaset kami sa GCs ng binitan, pwede nyo siyang sagutan para malaman nyo kung ano yung ano kayo dito. So, ayun, mas maganda siya kasi mas complete and meron siyang mathematical computation talaga kasi yung nanghuhula lang kayo kasi marami siyang pieces. So, ayun, ayan, at least may idea na kayo kung paano nag-work yung learning styles. At ayan, bago tayo magtapos, maglalaro muna tayo. So, mag-a-up ako and si Teach Angge and puhulaan nyo kung anong learning style ba yung ginagawa namin. So, una po si Angge. Ang ating loud like dragon.
Okay. Ano to? Para sa akin, gusto ko focus sa solution and results. Hindi ko masyadong gusto yung brainstorming na walang clear answer. Let's figure out the correct answer and apply it agad para matapos ang task efficiently. Anong learning style po yun? Okay, tama po. Next po si Ash.
Okay, so I really like understanding the theory or concept first bago ko gawin yung activity. So hindi ko masyadong enjoy yung group social talk or yung mga activities na walang clear explanation. So once clear na sa akin yung abstract ideas, mas madali na siya i-apply sa akin Okay. Tama, simulative.
Wait lang po. I like to listen to everyone's ideas and think about different possibilities first. Hindi ko masyadong gusto ko magde-decide tayo agad without exploring other options. Para sa akin, mas okay yung mag-brainstorm muna bago kumilos para sure tayo sa choices natin. Ano yon? Yes, okay. Pakahusay, divergent po. Next.
Yes. Okay, so I like learning by doing. Hindi ko masyadong na-enjoy yung mga plano lang, yung mga discussions. So, sapa agad. And then adjust along the way and then learn from the experience. Yes, nakikinig sila. Accommodative. Tama. So, yes. So, tandaan, walang mas mataas or mas mababa na klase ng learning style. Mahalaga is, malaman natin kung paano ba tayo natututo para mas ma-maximize natin kung ano ba yung dapat ginagawa natin, ano ba dapat yung learning strategies na ginagawa natin. And muli, si Ash.
At ito naman si Angge. Maraming salamat sa panonood po. Thank you po.
Wait lang. Done na ba? Okay. Akala ko ay meron pa. Sorry for that. So, congratulations on the first round. Stop ko muna yung timer ko. Okay. Ayan. So, congratulations on your first round of presentation. Nakita nyo naman yung group 2, ha? Hindi sila nagpapatalo doon sa group 1. So mukhang yung group 3 ay hindi din mapapatalo, 'di ba? Advance na yung challenge ko doon sa doon sa group 3. Tapos talaga mahilig kayong mag-shooting, no? Dilo niyo yung group 1 may shooting sila. Tapos itong group 2 nag-shooting din, meron silang garden na air condition, 'di ba? Kundi naman talagang napakayaman ng mga taong ito. Saan ka naman nakakita ng isang garden na merong aircon, no? Baka garden niya ni Small Laude, di ba? Tsaka noong ate niya. Okay? Sige, tanungin ko muna yung group 2. So, how was the experience of preparing, including the shooting and all? Angeline, would you like to share? Meron ba kayong mga challenges o naging smooth flowing naman ang lahat?
Para sa akin naman po, yung nahirapan po ako talaga dun sa script. Hindi naman po actually. Okay naman po yung lesson. Very, very nice po yung lesson and very informative po. Yung dun sa filming naman po, I had a lot of fun with my teammates po, with my group mates. And feel ko sila po yung talagang nahirapan. Kasi kami dalawa po, kami pong mga presenters, hindi po kami masyadong na-pressure mag-film. Pero nakitulong rin naman po kami.
Yes,
So, yun po. Thank you po sa mga nag-sponsor po sa amin. Kaya nagkapera po kami para
May
i-invite si
sponsor?
representative. Opo. Mahal po yung guest namin kanina kasi taga-unit 1 po kasi siya.
Okay. Thank you very much, Angelina, speaking on behalf of the group. Actually, na-observe ko, no, hindi ko alam kung gaano ito katotoo. Okay, pero ako lang, na-observe ko lang. Para bang itong section ninyo ay united. Yun yung na-observe ko. Sabi ko nga, I'm not really sure if that is true. Pero, syempre, I was able to compare your section with the other sections na na-handle ko na. Wala naman akong problema din sa ibang sections. Mababait sila, maaayos sila, hindi nila ako binibigyan ng problema. Pero sa inyo, parang very evident na you support each other. And I think that is one good trait na kailangan ma-emphasize ulit sa mga estudyante ngayon. Kasi yung ibang mga students, parang they see each other as a competitor. No? So, yes, you compete, di ba? You study, yung mga ganyan, you would like to excel, pero not to the point, di ba, na you do not support each other. So, I can really sense, feel, and observe that you support each other. And that is one thing that I would like you to continue until term 3 kasi alam ko hanggang term 3 ay magkakasama kayo. Okay? Sige. So, Sarah, ano lang yung mga natapos ninyong topics for today? Ano yung binigyan ninyo ng focus? Cobbs ba yan? Kolb? Kay David Kolb? Okay. Yeah. Okay, so ibig sabihin wala pa kayo dun sa mind styles tsaka dun sa done and done. So that will be on Friday. Okay, so let us synthesize what they have discussed. I will be sharing something to you just to synthesize everything. No, very clear naman as always. Very clear naman yung kanilang presentation. Pati ako ay ano tawag dito, natututo ulit. 'Di ba? So yun ang importante. Okay, teka, what happened? Cancel. Sanay kasi ako sa Zoom eh. Pasensya na ha. Minsan tuloy ay napapaisip ako kung tama ba yung aking pinindot. Okay, so do you see now the reading material? Thumbs up please. Thank you. So basically, ito din yung kanilang diniscuss. We will just give emphasis again. And then we will just quickly synthesize. Okay? So we are actually in Unit 2. So contemporary theories of learning na ito. Yung Unit 1 kasi ay more on classical or the old or the traditional theories of learning. No? And when we say contemporary, which is Group 2, ibig sabihin, this is more on the progressive or more modern theories of learning. No? So they have discussed the Kolb's learning styles and experiential learning cycle. No? So si Kolb, nag-set out siya ng 4 na distinct learning styles and they were able to discuss that. No? And we can see that in a cycle. And I also was able to see that that cycle. No? So Kolb explains that different people naturally prefer a certain single different learning style. Kaya kanina, di ba, parang merong tanong na parang nagtaas kayo ng kamay ba kung sino sa inyo yung anong klaseng learner. Ayan. So, yun kasi yung focus ni Kolb, no? Kumbaga, ang iba't ibang tao, iba't iba din ang paraan ng pagkatuto. My way of learning is different from your way of learning. Pero meron na tayong isang goal, and that is to learn. So, when you sit inside the biology class, all of you have the same goal, which is to learn that specific concept in biology for that particular period or day, but you have different ways of learning that. Kaya ang implication sa pagtuturo ng teacher, dahil you will become future teachers, meron ka ding iba't ibang modalities ng pagtuturo, and you also have different instructional styles. Meron ka ding iba't ibang mga aids, teaching materials. No? So, gumagamit ka ng, kung may mga visual learners ka, then, nagpe-prepare ka ng mga PowerPoint or something that you post on the board. Kasi meron ka mga students na visual learners. No? Tapos, dahil meron ka mga kinesthetic, di ba, yung mga gusto ay gumagalaw, then you also provide activities wherein your students will move, no, and will do something because those learners will learn best through that. Okay? Meron din naman mga gusto lang yung nakikinig. Di ba? Kaya pag nagle-lecture ka, kaya yung paraan ng pagsasalita ng teacher, yung how you say things, very important yun. No? Kasi meron kang mga estudyante na mas natututo sila kapag sila ay nakikinig. Okay? Tapos gusto ko rin bigyan ng emphasis yung kanina, yung mga conditions. Actually, nilagay ko sa chat box yun. Kung napansin ninyo, yung merong mga internal and external conditions that also affect your learning. no? So the conditions around you and the conditions within you. So yung mga external factors such as the environment, nakaka-affect yun, no? Siguro meron sa inyo na mas natututo kapag tahimik ang paligid. Merong mas natututo kapag medyo may nakikita, kapag may naririnig, yung mga gano'n, no? External yun eh. Okay, yung gusto siguro ay air condition, so you go to the library kasi aircon doon, yung mga gano'n. Meron din namang mga gusto sa labas, yung mga gano'n. Park, halimbawa, gano'n, no? Tapos gusto niya, nakita siya ng mga green, yung mga ganyan. So, that's external. Pero yung internal condition kasi, importante din yon, yung within you. How motivated are you? So, that is something internal or that is something within, no? Tapos yung, kahit yung physical condition mo, yung, halimbawa, ikaw ay may sakit. So, hindi ka natututo ng maayos kasi you are not feeling well. Yung mga, so it affects, no? Yun yung mga within you, internal conditions. Tsaka yung age. Age is actually a factor. When you are younger, sharper ang mind mo. Mas madali kang nakakatanda ng mga bagay-bagay, no? I remember when I was younger, I can easily remember things. But when you age, and I actually feel that, no? And it's a biological, wala na ako magawa. And it's nature. Alam kong nandun pa din ang karunungan, pero may mga moments ka na that you tend to forget things, no? Kasi hindi na sharp yung mind mo eh. Hindi na ganun ka-sharp tulad ng 21 years old ka, 22 years old ka. Now, when you reach like mid-30s, and lalo ako, mid-40s, so there are moments na parang, ano nga ba yung sinabi ko? Kaya mga teacher nyo na biglang may moment siya na, what did I just say? Di ba may mga ganun kayong teacher, kahit nung high school kayo, nakalimutan niya yun. So alam niya na nabanggit niya, pero ano nga ba yun? What did I just tell you? Help me remember. So yung mga ganun, no? So that is something within. And those are internal conditions, or if you are very much affected, so yung mga emotional condition mo, psychological factors, you have a family problem, or you came from a breakup. Totoo yun, seriously speaking, no? Kasi it affects everything eh. Kasi problematic ka. Tapos masyado kang loaded with different things, no? Kaya it bothers you and it affects your learning. Okay? So, you will see here a typical presentation of COBS 2 continuum. No? So, meron kang processing continuum. Pag sinabi mong processing continuum, that is how you approach a task. And when you say perception continuum, that is how you feel about the task. Kasi di ba dalawang bagay yun? Ginagawa mo yung bagay, pero anong nararamdaman mo? Habang ginagawa mo yun, di ba? Are you doing it happily? Or are you doing it tawag dito na you are just forced or pressured to do it. Diba? So, dalawang bagay yun. Yes, you can do a thing, but how do you feel about it? Okay? Kaya meron tayong, diba, IQ and EQ. Pwede mo na siyang i-relate dyan. Kasi yung IQ mo, yun yung karunungan mo eh. Diba? So, parang, madaling, kayang-kaya kong gawin yan kasi natutunan ko naman yan eh. So, it has something to do with your IQ. Kasi matalino ka, marunong ka, di ba? But how about your EQ or your emotional intelligence? Are you prepared to do it? Will you be happy when you do that? Di ba? Yung emotional intelligence. Kaya yung balance of IQ and EQ. Meron na ring DQ. Not the ice cream. Okay, but the digital quotient. Yung technology. Meron na niya. Okay, so you have IQ, that is your intelligence quotient. Then you have your EQ, that is your emotional quotient or emotional intelligence. And DQ, or your digital quotient, or your technological digital intelligence. No? And nung ako yung nag-aaral, wala naman DQ na yan, ice cream lang yan. Pero sa panahon ngayon, iniisip mo na rin how technologically competent are you? Not only aware, but how technologically competent are you? Kasi maraming bagay ngayon sa mundo, hindi lang sa classroom, na ginagawa mo with the aid of technology. Kahit bilang teacher, di ba, gagawa ka ng isang material but with the aid of technology. But if you do not know how to use Mentimeter, quizzes, etc., then you cannot do it. Di ba, it limits what you want to do. No? Kaya, kailangan mo matuto. So, you want to learn about quizzes, etc., etc., so, you ask a colleague to teach that to you. That's scaffolding. Remember? Di ba? Kina-connect na natin sa lahat. Vygotsky. So, you consult a more knowledgeable other to teach you about a particular app, and then eventually you will learn. So, you can independently do the thing or utilize that particular app or technology without the aid of the more knowledgeable other. Kasi di ba, naging independent ka na. I hope you still remember Vygotsky's theory, no? Kasi lahat naman niya dugtong. Kaya relate lang lahat yan. Okay? So, sabi ni Cobb, okay, he believed that we cannot perform both variables on a single axis at the same time. So, our learning is a product of these two choice decisions. Okay? So, tingnan na lang natin yung tawag dito, itong nandoon sa right side. Na-discuss naman nila ito. No? So, we have concrete experience, you have reflective observation, you have abstract conceptualization, and you have active experimentation. Diba? So, I remember this was clearly discussed, no? So, you have the concrete experience, diba? You are actually experiencing something. Kaya nga konkreto eh. Di ba? Ano ba ibig sabihin ng konkreto? Di ba? E di, andun ka. Di ba? So you feel the situation because you're there. Di ba? You're experiencing it, no? And then, reflective observation is you tend to observe. Okay? You tend to reflect what you're observing. Kaya kami watching eh. Diba? Kasi nag-observe ka, watching is actually observing how a particular thing is being done. Diba? And then you think about it. Diba? There's abstract conceptualization. Okay? You think about what you have observed. Diba? Minsan ganun tayo, diba? So we see something, we observe something, and then we think about it. Ang dami-daming naglalaro sa isip, can I do that? Can I do the same? Can I modify it? Diba, nanood ka, ginawa niya, step 1, step 2, step 3, tapos nag-isip ka. Kaya ko kaya itong gawin kung gagawin kong 2 muna bago 1 and then 3? Diba, sometimes we imagine that, parang we try to modify something that we observe, yung mga gano'n, no? And then, active experimentation, you do it. Unless you do it, you will not learn it. Diba? Learning by doing. Kanino yon? Diba? Meron nun. Learning by doing. Kanino siya? Do you still remember? Parang na-discuss ng group 1 yun, kaya hindi ako nagkakamali. Diba? Learning by doing. O baka naman mali ako. Na-discuss nga ba ng group 1 yun? John Dewey. Okay, wala nagko-comment. Yeah, John Dewey. Yeah, di ba na-discuss yun? That's learning by doing. Okay? Tapos, na-discuss din nila yan. Di ba? Yung accommodating, diverging, converging, and assimilating. Di ba? Pag accommodating, you feel and do. May action. Di ba? Kapag diverging, you feel and watch. Walang action. Diba? Pinapakiramdaman mo lang, nanonood ka. No action. Diba? Pag assimilating, you think and watch. Okay? Tapos pag converging, you think and do. Iniisip mo, ginagawa mo. Pero tingnan nyo kung saan siya nakapwesto. I hope you still remember yung quadrant in your math. Diba? So, you have quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. Nasaan dyan ang first quadrant? Can somebody please turn his or her audio on?
Accommodating part po.
Are we sure?
Diverging po.
Okay, ano talaga? Nasaan ang first quadrant? Kasi para naguhulaan kayo, pwede kayo mag-google kung hindi kayo sure. Okay, so nasaan dyan ang first quadrant? Yan, quadrants. Okay na? So, sino ang gustong mag-ano? Ayan, o. Nakikita nyo ba yung ginugel ko? Papakita ko sana sa inyo.
Accommodating po.
Papakita ko na sana sa inyo, pero ano. Ayan.
Diverging po.
Naku, bakit ano? Iba-iba ko rin sabi ko, mag-google na nga kayo.
Divergent po.
Okay, sige. Ayan, halatang hindi kayo nag-google. Naka-online na nga tayo. Kaya-kaya nyo na nga akong dayain eh. Di ba? So, ang quadrant 1 natin ay yung diverging. Okay? Tapos, ang quadrant 2 natin ay yung accommodating. Tapos, ang quadrant 3 natin yung converging. Tapos, ang quadrant 4 natin yung assimilating. Di ba? So, ano siya? Counterclockwise. O baka naman yung clockwise saka counterclockwise, nalito pa ha. O sige. So yung quadrant 1, yun yung diverging. Ibig sabihin, kinombine mo yung experience, yung concrete. Teka, adjust ko ulit. Natakpan pala. Ayan. Okay, so yung quadrant 1, diverging, ibig sabihin, pag diverging ka, it's a combination of the concrete experience and the reflective observation. Kaya nga feel and watch. Tapos pag quadrant 2 ka, nandoon ka sa concrete experience plus active experimentation. Pag quadrant 3, converging, yun yung active experimentation plus abstract conceptualization. Pag quadrant 4 ka, that is abstract conceptualization and reflective observation. Okay? Sige nga, tingnan ko nga. Sino sa inyo ang diverging? Diba? You love to feel and watch. Then you learn. Ayan. Okay. Kahit yung react lang, para nakikita ko lang sa gilid. Ito ba mga nag-heart na to? Diverging yan? Okay. Sino yung accommodating? Diba? You feel and do. Ayan. Sige, nalilito kasi ako kung sa... Ayan. Okay. Converging. You think and you do. Okay. Tapos assimilating. O, meron naman so iba-iba. Diba? Iba-iba. Okay. So, what else? I think, yun na yun So, ayan yung learning styles description. So, tinanong ko na kayo. Ayan. Yan yun. Accommodating, diverging, tapos converging, and assimilating. Okay? So, I think yun lang muna yung na-discuss nila, And then we will just continue on Friday. Nagkataon din kasi na I'm not feeling well. Napansin niyo, iba yung boses ko. Diyos ko, araw-araw na ako nagbabitamins. Napakalakas talaga ng... Ewan ko ba, ang lakas-lakas ng sipon at ubo. So, hindi ko na alam kung kanino ako nahawa. Okay. So, that's it. Any question? So if everything is clear, react please. Sige, thank you very much. So kung wala nang tanong, meron pa bang habol? 1, 2, 3, di ba parang TikTok? 3, 2, 1. Thank you. Yeah. Ano naman ako, malakas ang loob ko sa sakit. Ano lang to? More fluids and vitamins. We have fruits here. So I'll just eat my fruits after lunch. Akala ko matibay ako. Naka-face mask pa ako niyan Whenever I commute, I wear my face mask. Pero meron talaga mga, sorry for the word, meron talaga mga bastos na tao na humahatching, umuubo, walang face mask. Hindi pa tayo natuto sa COVID. Matigas talaga ang ulo ng Pilipino. Madali lang tayo magkomento sa social media pero wala tayong konsiderasyon sa ating kapwa. Diba, no? Grabe. Umuubo, humahatching, walang face mask. Ewan ko ba? I don't understand. Parang hindi tayo dumaan sa COVID. Okay. Sige. So I hope everything is clear, no? So thank you, and I'll see you again on Friday online for the second round of presentations of Group 2. Bye-bye and enjoy your lunch.
Thank you po.
Thank you po.
Thank you.